right, welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Possibilities. We're in the pop-in theme today. We got a special guest here. We got Judy from 50 Minutes of Fear. How are
Hi
you doing
guys.
today? Steph, how are you
Great.
doing?
I'm great too. Judy, it's so great to have you on. Thanks for coming.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, no, thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
yeah, yeah. So, 50 Minutes of Fear. How did this come together? How did
Yes.
you get the name?
Yeah, so you gave me a lot to think about because it's so funny. I in my professional life, I'm very structured. You're very structured. I do things for a certain purpose and it's very well thought out and calculated actually, which is
Mhm.
not a very nice. I'm an attorney, so I can say that. It's not a very nice word, but it is calculated. You want to get the best result for your client. It's very structured. In my personal life, I am not a planner. I am a do what feels right for the moment, and that's what I really enjoy. And I wanted to do something, right? I wanted to do something creative. And I was writing a little bit, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll write a book. And I sort of
Oh,
outlined a book, and I was like, boring. I'm not a writer. I'm not a long person. I will read a book. I
mhm,
will enjoy a book, but I'm not a writer. But
right.
then it was really funny because I sort of got this idea of years ago, years and years ago, people were blogging.
Mhm.
And I thought blogging was really smart and I really, really liked it. And I actually tried to launch a wrestling podcast blog. And then again, I was building my career. So I didn't have the time to do
Mhm.
that. So now that everyone's gotten smaller, right? The world's gotten bigger and smaller because I work from home now. So I don't
Right.
have the 3 hour commute.
Sure.
And I was like, I think now's the time to do a podcast. So I
Right.
was thinking a lot. And my sort of takeaway was I really enjoy horror movies, but the big crux of horror movies, especially American horror movies, is you get the backstory. So it's a backstory and then it's the stuff, right?
Right.
So I'm like, well, how much of a horror movie is actually really scary? And then it's like 50 minutes, like 50 minutes. And I was like going around in my head. So it was very organic. So I
Okay.
go to Dominic, who, my husband, you're not going to see
Right.
him.
Right.
And I said to him, hey, honey, what do you think about this 50 minutes of fear thing? And we were kind of fooling around with it, playing with it. And he goes, no, I think you're onto something. So then we had the name. And
Mhm.
then we had this concept. And he goes, well, what do you want your podcast to be?
Right.
So we just sort of thought, okay, great. There's a horror convention. Let's go to this horror convention and go check it out. And before we did that, we actually went to Spirit Halloween because this all came about around August, September, October.
Okay.
So at Spirit Halloween, we kind of filmed some cute stuff. And Dominic's like, this, you could be onto something with this. And that's when everything changed. And we were like, let's highlight the horror community, meaning artists, writers, I like things like that. So that's, I don't know if I answered your question,
You
but
did. No, you
You
did. You
did.
did. You got it. You got it.
But no, I love the how organic that story is. It's not like you pigeonholed yourself into something because that was your original thought. And like Brian was saying, that's kind of the nature of the journey, and you said it as well, is that flexibility and being able to adapt and understand, like, what do I want this to be? What is the audience I'm looking to target? And that's just such a fun story of how all of this came together. I love it.
yeah, and it's interesting you say that too, because what I realized is horror fans love horror. They do. They absolutely love it. But they also like puppies. I had no idea. They like puppies and cats. And I was like, some of my biggest videos that have blown off is when I've just like, oh, hashtag a puppy, because one of the dogs walked in and it's like boom, 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 followers. And I'm like, what? So it's funny. I'm constantly like surprising and learning, and I think that is the beauty of the horror genre, that you can have something as wonderful as like The Exorcist, but you can also have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and we're equally happy to see both films.
Yep.
Equally happy, and that's why the horror genre is so great.
I think it's almost like the all content on the internet. Like, there's things sometimes I'll spend like days editing, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is great," and then it's like, "No, it didn't really pop off." And then there's like one that we're just like, "Ah, this is a throwaway," and it's
Yep,
like that gets views, and you're like,
yep.
What the hell happened here?"
Yeah.
And you're never gonna know, and that's what makes it exciting too, because you are never gonna
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to. That's
absolutely.
that's like what we look at it is like there's so many movies out there that I haven't seen, and so it gives us a chance to like, all right, it's two friends watching a movie, and seeing if it still holds up or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
Brian and
Yeah.
I, when we met, one of our first bonds was like, oh, we kind of like the same music, and oh, we kind of love the same movies, and we kind of grew up at the same time. So sometimes like the nostalgia hits the same way for us, and we kind of figured we're like, hey, if we can relate about this, how many other
Yeah.
people would find
A
this
lot.
relatable?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot.
And our favorite part of these pop-ins, like having you with us today, is getting to hear that like we're not the only ones who are sitting in a corporate grind, or you said you're an attorney, like these
Yeah.
demanding high pressure jobs,
Right.
who wanted to take a step back and reconnect with that creative side of ourselves and kind of let our dreams and our passions run wild a little bit. And that's what I love about your story. It does not sound like you grew up thinking, I'm going to have a podcast one day. It seems like it was kind of something that came to be. So talk to us about like what were your dreams before attorney life, before getting into podcasting?
Gosh.
And how does this kind of tie into those dreams?
Yeah. So it's funny. You're exactly right. Pre-attorney life, I've been practicing for almost 30 years. So I'm not sure that I can remember pre-attorney life, but I will tell you. I will tell you. It sounds kind of corny, but it's all important. It's like this work-life balance. So like I try to achieve that on all levels. Like I'm always trying to look for the yin and the yang. Like I'm a yoga teacher. I did yoga teacher training. I have a yoga class that I like doing where it focuses on happiness and all these things. And I think that's really important. And this is sort of just an extension of where can I put this again, no book. So where can I put this creative force, right? And it's really nice here.
So how do you is there a specific genre you're going down, or like how do you choose what you want to watch?
Yeah, so that's an excellent question because we're still feeling our way through that. My favorite movies are not necessarily popular, and they're not necessarily what people typically watch, and maybe even films that people have heard of. Dominic very rightly said to me, he goes, you really need to start your first couple of podcasts. You should do a Terrifier series, or you should do Halloween or Jason, or like a commentary on that. And it just, I love those movies, and I adore the Terrifier. I'm so glad Terrifier's in the world because it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I love everything about it, but I thought that was just very broad. And then I was like, well, I'm going to do like a 1970s cartoon that only played on HBO that maybe only my generation saw. And my sister's like, hey, great, I'll do that with you, but don't let that be your first one. And then I was like, okay, all right. So it was a commercial decision to have weapons be the first movie. I know. It's so good. If you haven't seen it,
yeah,
it is exactly what I love by filmmaking. So there is that consciousness of what will people want to see versus, oh, it's Judy's weird movie, because I did get some feedback on the first mini. Well, I don't call it mini because that's like stealing from another podcast. So I'm going to call it shorty. I'll call it a shorty.
Okay.
A shorty. I did a shorty film interview or film review, and it's really, really short. And it was on American Psycho. Perfect. It's a classic movie. Everybody loves it. Yeah. Great movie. Great fun facts. Dominic produced it for me, and we put it out there, and everybody really, really loved it. But then the next movie I did was The Fourth Floor, and no one's seen that, and no one's heard of it. And the feedback I got is, "Don't be weird. Just don't be weird." But I'm like, no, because you should see this movie because the movie holds up, and Juliette Lewis is in it. So that's the tension, right? The tension is, I'm gonna talk to you about weapons. I'm gonna talk to you about The Exorcist, but I also really, really, really want you to see The Fourth Floor. You should see it. you
No,
know?
I get it, cause like when I'm on the music side of things, when I'm writing and recording music, I'll be like, oh, I like this hip hop, or oh, I like this pop, and then oh, I want to do like this pop punk song, and when I was talking to my engineer, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put out an album of all different tracks. He's like, don't do that because you're confusing the average listener. He's like, what kind of artist is he? So I definitely get where you're coming from. Where like, but I got this niche movie that's really good. You need to see it. Like,
But what's smart about your approach is you balanced, right? Like, I'm going to give the people what they want, but the people are going to get what I want them to know about and what I want them to have too. And that's part of building a following, cuz like when they buy you, they're going to want to hear the weird
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's important personally that you never lose your weird.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
I agree.
find ways to make it meaningful and not like completely kill your brand or whatever it is you're going for, but
Mm.
let your freak flag fly, baby. Like, I am all about that. I love that.
Well, it makes you interesting, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
out of left field.
So you do, movies, books, true crime, supernatural. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a go-to?
Well, that's a hard question again because it really is all my favorite. I absolutely positively love ghost hunting. I've been to Salem numerous times,
Okay.
but I also really love reading, like I don't know, Clown in the Cornfield, and I just met Adam Caesar who wrote that book, and I was lucky enough to talk to him, and I really, I just watched A Tale of Two Sisters, which is a spectacular Korean language fable movie from 2007, and it's just I guess I can't answer the question.
No.
They're all my favorite because I just like the story. Like, give me the story, give me
Okay.
the
Yep.
story, because I'm going to be in
Absolutely.
it for you. I'm going to go all in for you.
We talk about that a lot, the two of us. Like,
Yeah.
we're pretty eclectic when it comes to genre. Horror's always been my favorite forever and
Okay.
ever. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Good.
that's what usually grips you, whether you're talking about a comedy, a drama, a horror, whatever. If the story stinks and the plot is paper thin and the characters are not developed, then it's hard no matter what genre you're watching or reading to get into it and invest because you
Right.
got to care. You got to care about the story, you got to care about the characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you guys, because you guys do the throwbacks. When you go back and watch, do the films hold up? And if they don't, are you sad? Does it make you sad? Do you regret going back and watching them?
I do. I personally, I will say not every film, but Snow Day did hurt a little bit. So I will say that. but but I'm not. It's not like the end of the world. I know that there's other movies out there.
So a lot of mine that aged like an avocado, for lack of better terms,
I love it.
it's not so much that like the characters didn't still mean something to me in the story. They're just way problematic watching them
Okay.
with more mature eyes and more like understanding of life in the world. So sometimes they make you go back and say like, "Oh my god, I've been walking around recommending this to people without a second thought." And I think from
Yeah.
a nostalgia perspective, I have not yet had an experience where I was like, I can't believe I ever even liked that film. But it's definitely interesting when you go back and watch them again after years pass and years of life experience, because they definitely do not all hit the same. I will
Yeah.
definitely say that.
And that's a really important thing, especially for you guys to keep in mind when you're looking back and
Yeah.
saying, yes, we have, like, whenever something horrendous happens, I'm always like, yes, and we've evolved, and I wouldn't do that now. Because
Some of them, yeah, they're
Yikes.
yeah.
Yeah,
lock the
exactly.
doors.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's right. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no.
We
It's
don't
true.
sleep with the doors unlocked anymore. We
It's
just
so
don't.
true. So
Yeah.
true. So, we're on the topic of favorite things, right? Favorite type of medium, favorite genre. So, your content, Judy, spans a lot of different things: movie
Yeah.
reviews, book reviews,
Yeah.
mystery bags, collabs, all of these different things. Is there a type of content that is your favorite to either create, produce, put out into the world, whatever the case may be, and why?
My favorite to produce is the long form. The long form. I love
Right.
it. I love talking to people. I could talk to people all day. Again, it's been part of my career for 30 years. I like people. I like talking to people. Um, it's a lot of work, but that is my favorite form of digging in and talking. And it's interesting too because when I was doing weapons with my brother, and my brother and my sister both did it with me, I think, yeah. And my brother just said this really profound thing, and I was like, huh, okay, that was interesting. And that's why I like that. I like that, to dig in and
Right.
really, you
Yeah.
know, feel the experience,
From watching it, I'm like, I don't know how you pump so much out, because I'm like, I'm tired after today. you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't sleep a lot. I got a lot of energy. I'm up all the I sleep like 4 hours a day.
The
I'm like,
the books part though I find fascinating. I've just like started to kind of push myself to read more instead of doom scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten too far into like the horror genre. Is there like one that you would recommend per se, or do you like a series?
Yeah. So great, great, great writers that I like. One of them that's super, super gruesome, but I love him is Nat. I think it's Nat or Nate Cassidy. He's a brilliant writer. There's a book
Mm.
called When the Wolf Comes Home, and it's spectacular. I highly, 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 though, if you're saying you're just getting into writing, I highly, highly, highly recommend download Libby to your phone
Mm.
and listen to the books on tape. So I recommend it to everyone, or buy the audiobook, whatever. It's brilliant. I actually just ran into a newer author to me called Scott Cole. He's actually a
Mm.
graphic artist, but he's also has some books as well, and his writings are fun. I just finished a book called Super Ghost, and it's super fun, and it's a super quick read, and it's
Okay.
about phantom limbs,
Oh,
and it
fun.
was yeah, super fun, right?
Yeah. That's a great call. It's nice to start off with like a quicker read or maybe
Yeah,
something a little bit lighter,
yeah,
because in the horror genre specifically, when you're sitting alone like with your thoughts and the quiet and you're reading it or you're listening to it, the darker or the heavier it is, the
yeah,
tougher it can be
yeah.
if that is not like your comfort zone to get all the way through.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm a big Stephen King fan. There was a time when I had read all of his books, but then he just went crazy. He just keeps writing.
Yeah.
But I remember
I'm not convinced he's still writing.
someone is. I
Someone
don't know
is.
who.
I
Don't
don't
ask
think him.
questions. Don't look too deep behind that curtain, sir. But I was reading Salem's Lot at my parents' house on the pool deck. Beautiful sunny day, and my mom just walked over and she's like, "Oh, hey, you want a drink?" And I'm like, "What the?" She read that book in the most beautiful sunshiny day. I was so in that book
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it was just like, it was shocking, and I was like, "Mom, you scared me." And she's like, "How could I scare you? You're in the pool." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
Has the podcast pushed you like out of your comfort zone in any way?
Yeah, it has, and I was surprised about this. So, like I said, Dominic and I went to the first one we went to was the New Jersey Horror Con and Movie Convention, and it's
Okay.
wonderful. If you can go, go. It's really fun. And I don't know what happened, but we were just there, and we were talking to Lydia Manson, and she was talking about her film, and I said, "Hey, do you want to do a quick interview for your film?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do," because she's an actress, right? She's an actress.
Right.
So we did, Dominic filmed it. We did a quick interview, and it was, it was fun. I kind of realized, hey, I'm okay at doing this. Like, I can talk to people and I can ask for interviews, and people can say no, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then the sound quality didn't work. So we realized we actually got in touch with Lydia, and she's been amazing with us, and we got a full proper interview with her, which you
Oh,
should definitely
that's
check
great.
out because
very
she's
nice. Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, she's wonderful. But we learned now we need the mics. So now we have the little baby mics to put on. And it's like,
Nice.
hey, you want an interview? Which, again, that's a little bit weird for me to be like, hey, you want to talk to me about my podcast?
Yeah.
But it's like, so that's the growth that I'm experiencing where I'm like, am I a jerk or am I okay? Because I don't know. I could be a jerk. Not sure.
No, I can
So
imagine that,
that
especially
was out of
like
my
if it's
comfort
somebody
zone.
like you're like an actress that you've known or whatever. Like I mean, I've met baseball players where I just was like, I don't know how to act. I'm just gonna shake your hand because I don't know what else to do. Like, what are you gonna say? You're gonna be like, you are my favorite player. Like, I'm a grown man. I cannot say this.
So you could be me. I've never met any sports athletes, I should say, but I'm big into music, and I have had the opportunity over the years to meet some of my favorite artists, be them at CD signings or at
Cool.
tour booths or whatever. And I legit am that guy that does. I'm like, I've been a fan of yours for 13 years, and I've seen you every time you've played my state. Like blurting out whatever because I don't know how to behave myself because I'm so starstruck in the moment. But
Well,
that's part of
absolutely.
the human experience, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
really a fan if you don't get butterflies when you see somebody you've been like listening to or reading or watching for so many years?
I guess because it feels like a figment of your imagination.
Yeah,
It's
for
not.
sure.
It's not. It is. It's like a fever dream. I
Right.
yelled at Gillian Anderson. I literally yelled
Oh,
at Gillian
wow.
Anderson.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah, you
Wow.
had to. You had to.
Yeah.
Dominic and I did a photo op, and as I'm standing there, I go, "You broke my heart in I don't even House of Earth, House of Earth. You were amazing in that. I can't." And she like takes the picture. I'm like, "But you were amazing in that." And I'm like, "Take the picture," and she's like, "Thank you." So it was like and I'm like, "Yeah." Did that just happen? Did I dream that?
Right.
Am I high right now? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't typically
Oh.
do drugs. Attorney, don't do drugs. But it's like we were dying laughing, and then Dominic's like, "What happened to you?" And I said, "I think I yelled at her." And I did. But she was very nice.
You almost
Yeah.
go into like a fugue state. Like you
It
black
is.
out and you forget
is.
who you are and what you're doing until after it happens, and then you marinate in that anxiety for like years to come. It's great.
I feel like that's how children feel a lot. Right?
Yeah, probably.
Like, do you remember the first time you've been to Disney World or Six
Yes.
Flags or Soar a Lion? It's like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling. I like that. I like being a fan. I like being a fan.
And
Yeah.
if you don't have that level of passion for something,
Right.
like
What are you doing?
you'll be chasing that feeling or that childhood whimsy or whatever you want to call it, and you'll never quite get there if you don't just let yourself truly love something and get really into something. So, we've talked about some meet and greets, we've talked about viral clips and things. Tell us, like, the first moment you can remember, a moment you can remember where you thought to yourself, holy crow, is this really happening? Like, is this actually happening? As it relates to any of the content that you have put out there into the universe.
So this is cute because again, when I bought this to Dominic, who is 100, we're one of those couples. I call us happily codependent because we are one, right? I know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
call my therapist, right? It's just, it works for us though. And we really do like each other a lot, which is good because we live together and, all that. But when I bought this to him and we were doing stuff, he's like, "I'll be your first follower," or whatever. So he followed me and he goes, "Babe, you have 3 followers." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cute," And then he's like, "Wow, you have 8." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And he's like, "Wait, you have 13." And I'm like, "Oh." And then it just
Escalated.
Kept going
escalated.
from
And I
there, wow.
think that's when I was like, "Oh, wait, this is something."
All right, so you're blowing up on social media, getting a good following.
Lucky.
What's
Very lucky.
what are you defining as success now? Where are you trying to go from here?
Yeah, so I think success for me is connecting with people and just connecting with people who like stuff. Like I said, connecting with the vendors. I will typically get a shout out from Deadly Grounds coffee because I drink
Nice.
it legitimately. I drink it every morning. I make my little Deadly Grounds coffee and I do my little trivia question of the day.
Mhm.
So I think for me the success is just growing the network. But yeah, so I think that to me it's really the community. And
Mm. Okay.
it's like if everyone's your best friend, like I said, if everyone's your best friend, like I'll say, "Oh, hey, Steph, get this purple lip liner from Kat Von D because it's super great and it'll make you happy when you wear it." And,
Mhm.
And then
It
it's
does.
like that surge when somebody comments or replies back and says, "I bought it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great." Yeah.
It's very nice to get the back and forth. It's, it's very nice to say, "Hey, I hear you. I like your stuff and I want other people to like it."
Yeah.
So,
Yep. And like
know.
you said, connecting with people is such an important part of the human experience, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it feel meaningful, I think, is knowing that you're reaching somebody and you gave somebody something to think on or something to smile about or whatever.
Right.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. It
So
is.
now it's you have been such a joy. It's time to
Oh,
plug yourself a little bit. Tell everybody
thank
where
you.
they can find 50 Minutes of Fear. Where can we find you?
Okay, so you can find us everywhere. We are 50 Minutes of Fear on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have our shorty interviews and our longer format podcast there. You can also find us on TikTok at 50 Minutes of Fear. You can find us on Instagram at 50 Minutes of Fear. You can find us on Facebook at 50 Minutes of Fear, and it's 50. So the number's 50 Minutes of Fear. So that's where you can find me. And it's 50 Minutes of Fear. The
Okay.
more the merrier.
All right. So
Do I get to ask my signature question,
go
Brian?
ahead. Ask your signature
I
question.
This does not have to be a horror movie, though I feel like it will be.
Okay.
But we like to wrap every pop-in with asking, what's your favorite movie?
Okay. Yeah. So again, tough. My real favorite movie is Halloween. It's I
Okay.
have 3 favorite movies and they never change, and it's always been Color Purple, Jaws, and Halloween. And those are 3.
Solid.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that will never change. Those are the best movies ever made in the history of the world ever.
Mhm.
Halloween is my all-time favorite movie. I watch it I've probably seen it about 1,000 times, and I'm not kidding. So that is my all-time favorite movie.
Do you
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
hate the new ones? Do you hate how
No.
it ended?
No, and that's the thing about being a horror fan. If you're
Mhm.
going to be a horror fan, you better be a good sport, because people will constantly recycle the concept, right?
Right.
So there was an amazing movie called The House of Wax with Vincent Price, and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. You know
Mhm.
who else did a good job with that? One Paris Hilton, because
Yes.
the remake,
Yes.
that's a fun movie. And that's
I can't get that scene where it was like the Achilles that he gets
yeah,
gets
it's
cut.
horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's
great.
always brutal.
I can't get
It's
that
good
scene
scene.
out of my head.
Brutal. Yeah, it's awful.
Mhm.
So can I give you my recommendations of
Yes.
what
Sure,
your
yeah.
people should be watching? 'Cause
Please.
Yeah, go
Oh
ahead.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it is.
I have 4 movies that everyone should see,
Okay.
and then one that everyone should just see. So I
Okay.
guess it's 5. Everyone has to see the movie You're Next. Have you seen it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have.
It is, I guess, a horror movie, but is it? I don't know.
Yeah. It walks
I'm
the
not
line.
sure. It's
Yeah.
great. So everyone should see that. Everyone should see Cemetery Man, which is also Della Morte Dell'Amore. And if you
Mhm.
haven't seen it, it's with Rupert Everett. It's an Italian movie. And I started off saying, oh yeah, it's just a silly movie. Then I was like, wait, no, it's Italian. So it's actually got these deep-rooted emotional concepts in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So watch that. But it's a silly little movie. It's a horror movie.
Mhm.
A Friend Like Harry. Have you seen that one?
I have not, no.
Okay, it's a thriller, and it's everyone has to see it.
Okay.
And then 2 movies that'll absolutely break your heart one is The Orphanage, not to be confused with The Orphan.
No, Orphanage. Is this I know the movie you're talking about.
It's
Is it Del
Spanish.
Toro? Is it Guillermo del Toro?
It might be. I didn't look up the director, but it's a Spanish language film. It was in 2007, and I literally wake up sweating thinking about that movie. It is a spectacular film that will rip out your heart. And then, of course, Tale of Two Sisters. If you've ever liked The Uninvited, typically what America loves to do, which I think is great, is they'll remake foreign films.
Yeah.
And A Tale of Two Sisters is it's a very important Korean horror movie, and it's just also a beautiful film.
Okay.
So watch those. I didn't do one. I did them all.
For the record, everyone out there, The Orphanage 2007 is not Del Toro, but it looks fantastic. I feel like I've seen this, but I don't want to say for sure.
Yeah, it is a spectacular film. It's spectacular.
All
So,
right. Well, this 50 Minutes of Fear.
Yep.
Go follow, go support, hit that subscribe
Like
button.
and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're gonna wrap it up here. Keep your popcorn popping and your possibilities endless, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.